Hey there, hey friends. I am Ken, your thrifty apprentice. Welcome to our regularly scheduled Monday Live. I've got a sort of action packed, but sort of quick live for you today where we are going to be doing one of our little blind product testings. We're going to open a product and we're going to go into creating with it. Now, I have not, in all honesty, gotten this completely planned out. But before we jump into that, we are going to cover some things that I've already done. First up, of course, you guys know we just had the poinsettia painting come out where we looked at and played around with a huge Gansai palette. And just in case you're curious, this will be listed on Palm Street in the original painting shop if you're interested in purchase, or it is also listed as a digital print on the Defiance Art website, which we are going to talk about that in just a moment as well. So, this Sunday coming up, we're going to have a massive, I say massive, but a review video that is going to cover 4 different watercolor sets that I have been testing in the background. I think I told you guys earlier that I was no longer going to be doing individual reviews on like super budget quality paints. I was going to test 2 or 3 sets at a time and then do a review that's got looking at 3 or 4 sets. And I'll save those really stylized, individualized reviews for the more artist professional grade paints. So this Sunday coming up, the video will be looking at 4 different sets. We'll be looking at the Night Pro set. And all of these you've probably seen me use in a video. We just haven't gotten to a review. We'll be looking at the Pinteresta 36 count set. We will be looking at the Elaine premium watercolor paints, and we will also be looking at the Imuki 48 color watercolor paint box. Ironically enough, there's no branding on this one. I had to do a little research to figure out who the company was, but all of those will be coming up this Sunday. Sunday? Wait a minute. No, I'm sorry. No, the Poinsettia came out yesterday, which was Sunday. The 4 branded review will come out this Wednesday, and I am almost done with that review. Hopefully, I will have it up and done before the end of this day is over with. All right, so that's what happened. What's coming up? Let me get myself set up here. I'm trying to figure out what size paper I want to paint on now. You guys remember last week we opened and played around with, or not opened and played around with, we talked about watercolor pencils. And in the midst of talking about watercolor pencils, we played around with the Stettler Carrot Aquarelle watercolor pencil set, which is their artist professional targeted watercolor pencil set. Where is it? I have stuff everywhere. I clean up, and that's when stuff gets lost. But that was just a real quick silhouette painting that we did. It was a lot of fun. If you guys are not used to watercolor pencils or new to them, do go back and check that video out so that you may pick up on some tips, tricks, or pointers on using watercolor pencils that you may not have known. And as I've always told you guys, they are absolutely amazing for doing the undersketch for your paintings. This is a Light Wish 140-pound cold press, acid free, 100% cotton paper block. I think it's like it's like 5 1/4 or 5 3/4 by 8 1/4, something like that. So 8 by 6 roughly. And I did pull out this 100% cotton vibranium art watercolor paper block. If you guys remember this, I actually got this back when I was testing the vibranium art watercolor set, and I never actually tested the paper. So I finally went on and pulled the plastic off of it. I'm not sure if we're going to get around to using it today, but somewhere between today and tonight live in Patreon, I'm going to be using it. So let's just break into what we're doing today, friends. I was so excited when I got this product into the studio. I've never seen it. Well, short story. I was on what was it? Yeah, YouTube, and I ran across Marty Owens over at Owens Art. If you've never watched any of the videos on his channel, I do suggest that you check him out. Marty is a super talented artist, and he's very versed in like the whole science part. Excuse me, the whole scientific part of paint making, paints, pigment numbers, and all those type things. So his channel does turn out to be a great resource of information for just different products. So I was surfing YouTube one day and I ran across one of his videos from not too long ago where he was trying and testing this set of what looked like paint bricks. Ironically enough, that's what they're called. But so I watched the video and I was pretty amazed at what I saw, and I was like, I have to give those a try. Put them on an artist wish list, and then Deco provided them for the studio so that we could all take a look at them and see what they're like. So this is Creatacolor 10 aqua brick crayon gouache art brush. The back of it says Creatacolor, a passion for pencils. Aqua block, solid blocks of watercolor pigment for drawing and painting. Highest quality pigments for smooth color laydown. Crayon gouache airbrush for use in classic watercolor, sketching and drawing. Stuff, stagrif, can't pronounce that word. Not gonna try to mess it up. Blending, rubbing, and monoprint. And yes, I am not. I bet you I know it and just don't know it looking at it. But so what it is, let's see. Austria is where they're produced. It gives a phone number, creative color, email just in case, a website. So yeah, I'm gonna assume they're made in Austria. There's a little color swatching chart down here that has what I'm assuming is stock numbers on it. It's non-toxic, conforms to ASTM 4236 regulations. Yeah, so that's pretty much the information on the little tin. Let's pop it open here. Information on the inside. There is a brochure. Let's see. All of that seems to be in. What do they speak in Austria? Is it German? Is it Dutch? Dutch? Or do they have their own official language in writing? Um, I don't know. That's why I'm asking. I'm trying to find anything that's necessarily in English. Maybe it's on the opposite side. Let's see. Friends, I don't see much English on here. Let me see. Aqua bricks by Creatacolor are impressive on account of their rich colors and their brilliant brightness. They are considered as universal colors as they can be used for a wealth of applications, leaving nothing to be desired. Um, Aqua brick blocks are perfectly suitable for use as crayons, which can also be easily used for painting with water. Large format paintings, sketches, as well as thin outlines can be produced without any problems. The colors will adhere perfectly if you fix them with transparent acrylic varnish. Okay, so I guess it does suggest that you varnish whatever you have painted with them. The colors themselves boast excellent fluidity. Due to their high pigment concentration, the colors are extremely bright. What is more, they don't fade easily and boosts long-lasting color fastness, museum quality. Okay. Excuse me. So it's saying that they're light fast, although I haven't seen any light fast information presented as of yet. Uh, After liquefying the colors, you can also apply them by means of an airbrush gun, and parts of the drawing can be highlighted to special effects by creating sequences or shades. Recommended thickness of nozzle. Oh, so that's for airbrushing. So it's basically breaking down the different ways you could use the bricks and the different applications. Oh, when heated in a double boiler, the bricks can also be used as liquid colors. As soon, oh wow. As soon as the respective brick has liquefied, remove from the fire and pour the liquid color into a standard plastic bottle or empty felt pen. In this case, too, thin as well as thick outlines can be drawn. This technique may be seen as a perfect complement to other techniques, such as crayon drawing, for instance. So you can actually turn them into liquid watercolor. Okay, this is a pretty universal product if it works the way it's supposed to. They're also perfect for use on dark materials such as cardboard, paper, canvas, and the like. Because of the dark background, the colors themselves react like gouache painting, providing perfect opaqueness. Interesting. Okay, so basically it's a watercolor. It's a it's a solid watercolor. It's a solid gouache. It can be heated to make liquid watercolor. It can be used on light paper as a regular watercolor, and if applied to dark paper, shows up like gouache. Okay, this is going to be interesting. Enough of that. Let's get into the nitty gritty of this. Okay, so the tray lifts out, so you can remove the plastic. The entire tray is wrapped. Now I'm gonna be honest. The tray that is in, first impression, super thin, super thin. And there we have it, friends. Our aqua bricks, our colors. They seem a little dusty, and I'm not quite sure what that is. Right there, maybe a sponge dried down. I don't know. But there are our colors. We do have um, primaries here, so it does look like we'll be able to do some mixing if we needed to. And here is the little tin that it comes in, which could definitely be repurposed and reused for something if you decided you didn't like the aqua bricks, or if you wanted to move them to another container. I'm just looking at all of this other little these little brochures, make sure I'm not missing anything important. Yeah, so it's a sponge. It's a pop-up sponge to be exact. And there is literally literature on the pop-up sponge. That's crazy. Definitely crazy. Once it has expanded, the sponge will retain the size of approximately 115 by 10 by 4 through 6 millimeters, or 135 by 90 by 10 millimeters. So it will expand once water hits it. Cool. All right. Has anyone used the aqua bricks? If you are here and you've used this product before, do jump in the comment section and let us know that you used it. What was your experience with it? Um, I am pretty excited here. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna assume these needs to be pre-wet. They're so big. I'm gonna pre-wet them. I mean, I don't see how this is gonna work. The white is dirty already, just from me spraying. But we're gonna test this out. I'm gonna use this paper pad. Let me find. Let's see here. We have 10 colors. We don't have too many colors. I'm just gonna throw down a couple of lines here. so we can test opacity on these jokers. See what that's like. Give that marker a second to dry. And I'll check the comments, see if anyone has used the aqua bricks before. What am I going to be? Let's go with the squirrel. Let's go with the synthetic squirrel. Nothing too big. I'll grab this number 6. Oh, what? I'm a number 8. That's what I want. There we go. All right. All right. Let's see. What is the binder? Hi through. Hey Goldie. Welcome in, love. What is the binder? The binder, that's a good question. Let me look and see if it tells us. Because most of it is in a foreign language. Just about the sponge. Let me go back to the brochure about the actual bricks because I did not see it say anything about the binder. Which of course I will do a lot more in-depth research before I get around to the actual review for this product. So I may have to hold off to divulge that information in the review video once I've done the research and I know for sure. Because as of right now, I do not see any of the English printed literature telling what the binder is. So that's actually an excellent question. But considering the fact that you can use it in all these different forms, um, yeah, I'm just making sure I didn't overlook it. It talks about a lot of different things that you can use it on, different forms it can be in. Um, and they're saying like plexiglass, canvas, cardboard, wood, plaster, concrete, styrofoam. Wow. The colors will last on a permanent basis if they are fixed with transparent acrylic varnish. Okay. I mean, it says all of this type, but it doesn't really talk about any of the formulation makeup. Like it says that they're light fast, but there are no light fast ratings. There is no pigment information. Um, it says that they're opaque, so I guess that is them talking about the transparency. Is to be asked. I have some similar but not very pigmented crate ones. Animal glue or resin or gum are usually binders. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna assume that it's probably a animal glue or gum. But let's start swatching them out here. That line should have had enough time to dry. And I'm just gonna swatch them in the color that they're all. Ooh, okay, thick. Oh wow, I wasn't expecting it to happen like that. I'm gonna water that down. I mean, a very slight touch of the brush, and you're gonna get color. It's pretty. It is actually really pretty. Let's I have to be careful because I don't want the paint on the brush too thickly. A little bit of a mass tone swatch or a thicker swatch there. This green is up next. Now this one isn't as goopy, but they reactivate. I mean, they activate super well. So they were juicy and ready to go just from the pre-spray that I did, which is pretty cool. I mean, the water is just sitting on top of the brick that I pre-sprayed with. I wonder, you may not need to pre-spray these, or if you do pre-spray them, not as much as I did. All right. So that first color, if I just have to put it in a range, I'm gonna put it in a range of a cyan. Excuse me. If I had to guess, like this, the green definitely doesn't resemble sap green. It resembles more of like a more yellow green color. Definitely seems like it may be a little blue leaning though. Um, so beautiful orange. I mean, seriously, friends, the what did I smudge? I smudged something. I don't know where. It probably came from me touching one of the bricks. Colors are cute. Here's the thing. I'm noticing that the coverage on the tooth of the paper really reminds me of like not the way a gouache lay down, and maybe it's because they're watery right now. The little thicker application definitely gives me. They don't seem opaque though. Now the yellow and the white I'm a little concerned about because as I was pre-spraying colors from other bricks, and that's another thing. I'm like, okay, so I kind of want to take them out of this tin and put them in something a little deeper so that if I do decide to pre-wet the bricks, um, they don't contaminate each other because that's basically what happened. And yeah, that was a little muddy. I'm not sure what I had right there, but oh well. Um, this should be interesting because the white is actually pretty dirty already. Just from like pre-spraying the palette. I have to wipe the white off. It looks like it's going to be pretty opaque though. Now, I know you guys probably can't see that on camera. I can see it here. Um, it's actually a little opaque, thickly, transparent, definitely watered down. Hmm. All right. Okay, this is almost a phthalo blue. Almost. Both of them are really light for that to be so much darker in the actual tin than the other one. Excuse me. It's not bad, not bad, not bad. I don't know if I'm just jumping up and down about them so far, but not bad. Color saturation is really good. This is definitely a phthalo green. And let's see here. That's a pretty color. That one re-wet really easy. Beautiful. That's beautiful. I love that color. I don't know, again, really strange way they seem to adhere to the paper. And it's probably because they're formulated for so many different things to work so many different ways. Beautiful red though, beautiful red. I'm not sure how I feel about those blues. They seem a little weak. I feel like this might be a wonderful, like, um, I feel like these would be great colors to use for outdoor sketching though. Like that's the impression I'm getting from them right away, is that they would work well in an environment like that. They don't seem to dry. Oh yeah, they're dry already. So they dry pretty quickly. There was not a huge color shift though. They definitely retained their color as they dried down. Um, they definitely can be opaque the thicker you apply them. But those swatches, actually, you can see the black line straight through them. They're pretty transparent, watered down. No doubt about that either. And this, ooh, that was pretty easy. Oh, beautiful black, beautiful, rich and pigment. Here's the thing. I hope it doesn't dry down matte. But can you guys see that? Can you see? I'm gonna hold it up a little bit more. You see how it seems to not cover the tooth or something? It's almost like an alcohol ink. It soaks. It seems like it soaks down into the paper like right away. So those are the aqua bricks swatched out. I guess we need to let's do a little let's do a little color mixing chart with them and see how they mix. Let's see how they mix. Do I have let's see. This will work. Just need a little. I think this is like Artwell 100% cotton, a little piece of Artwell 100% cotton paper. Let's see if we can get these. How we gonna do this? Let's go. Of course, we need yellow. It's a beautiful yellow. The colors are real bright. It's saturated. No doubt about that. Let's go with this red. We probably will only get one color mixing wheel out of this. Maybe we'll get two. I should have did like a regular swatch sheet and used Christie stamps. I'm gonna go with with the warmer. I'm gonna see how this works. I'm gonna try this blue. My triangle gonna be a little off, but oh well. All right, let's see here. Let's mix. Let's go with the yellow and a little of the red. Let's see what kind of orange we're gonna get here. Beautiful. And you can offset the shade of the orange by the amount of red and or yellow that you mix. It's not the brightest orange, but definitely a mix. I'm sure you can brighten it up using less of the red. That's just the ratio I mixed at that point. Let's try adding some of the red to the blue we had. Let's see what we get here. Colors mix really cleanly, easily. Very recognizable saturated colors. Let's go with the a blue and a yellow to make our green. So like I say, super easy mixes. I mean, take much at all. Let's make up a little bit more of that green, just so we can get a little bit more saturated there. And let's see here. That orange mix is definitely different from the orange that's included in the set. We don't have a violet included in the set, so you can definitely mix a violet. The green that we mix is different from the shades in the set, and you can definitely offset those mixes based on the ratio of one or the other color that you're adding. So those just pretty cool. Let's see. Here is the brown we have in the set. Let's take a look at it up close here. And let's see, we can make brown from a couple of color. I mean, we can make gray. So I was trying to say from a couple of colors, but let's go with that brown and this blue first. And let's see if we get a decent gray at all when we mix those together. Not too bad. It's pretty warm. It's a pretty warm gray that you can make. There is that brown is more like burnt sienna leaning. If you had a more burnt umber leaning brown, you could probably get a cooler gray out of that. Let's see here. Let's do some. Let's see how they gonna stack up against each other. Like with a bit of a flow test into one into the other. Let's see what happens with that. Decent, decent. I can say decent. Can't say I'm amazed, but I can say decent. I'll check the comment section in just a second, friends, to see what you guys are saying, what you think so far. They're not doing a lot of flowing into each other. I noticed that. It's a little weird considering the amount of water I'm using. They seem to just stay on the paper where you put them. They mix cleanly, but they don't do a lot of flowing. From the looks of it, we'll do a wet into wet test in just a second, just to see. Hmm, not bad. We'll have to get it time to dry to see how they lift out. Let's do a flow test right quick. I'll just do it right down here. Let's see how they flow with each other. I'm gonna get that end of that paper pretty wet. All right, let's go with some flow. Hmm, I'm definitely not crazy about it. I mean, they don't flow like super dramatically or anything. They do seem to be. Well, that one has a little flow to it. The orange did. Nothing too serious though. The yellow just kind of stayed where it was. It didn't flow at all. Let's try one more. Let's try the red. So not much flow to them. They have a little, and I do mean a very little disbursement to them. Very little disbursement. Don't have any salt sitting next to me to do a salt test, so I'll have to do that before we get around to the review. And I'll definitely be doing a lift test too. But I don't know, friends. I don't think that they're like super saturated or anything like that. They seem. I'm gonna tell you what they kind of put me in the mind of right off. Right off, they kind of put me in the mind of that new Lucas formulation. They give you the old world sort of vintage feel of watercolors without a lot of saturation, which Lucas paints used to didn't be that way. Lucas paints used to be really good and vibrant. I don't know what happened, um, but they definitely don't look the way they used to. So there is the swatching. There's the color mixing, the little flow test. Where the first flow test, the second flow test, and that first flow test will end up turning into a lifting test. So far, I do believe that the paints are a little weak. The color doesn't seem super vibrant. Like I said, they really put me in the mind of the way Lucas dry down, whereas they sort of have a um, sort of vintage old watercolor feel to them. They're not like super bright and saturated and vibrant. They are once you wet them and start to work with them, but once they actually dry, and these are both 100% cotton papers, different brands, but both 100% cotton. It seems to have held its vibrancy a little bit more, unlike this Artwell 100% cotton paper, which has more of a stamp texture on top, almost like the paper was made and then the sizing was kind of stamped or grooved on top of an absorbent paper. Whereas this one seems like it has the sizing mixed into the paper a little bit more. Um, they did seem to sink down into the fibers of this paper just a little bit more, which is why they may not appear as vibrant on this one as they do on this one. Okay, so I'm gonna check the comment section, see what you guys are talking about, what you're thinking so far, what comments you've made. Let me know where your mind is so far on the bricks. Let me see if I can find something to paint right quick. Let me go to Unsplash. Let's see what's over there. What am I in the mood to paint? A poppy. I want to paint a poppy. I don't know why I want to paint a poppy. I've been thinking about poppies all morning. I really, really have. I want to find a nice crepey one to paint, or at least a reference to. Oh, there's one, but it's dark there. I'm gonna order some more of this paper today, right now. Oh, and by the way, you can find this paper on the artist wish list. So not the artist wish list, but the Thrifty Apprentice product recommendation list. It's in the video description and the website, defiantart.com. You can find that link in the video description as well. Uh, got plenty of poppies. Just don't see one I want to paint. Let's see if we can just draw one out the imagination. I don't know. I'm gonna use a couple of the reference I'm looking at and just kind of sketch one out. I'll try to anyway. This will probably end up becoming a composition. I'll just work on part of it with you guys, and then I'm gonna have to go ahead and jump off. How should we turn it? Should we turn it this way? Yeah, maybe we should turn it that way. That way it's not in the middle. And I'm just gonna like sketch out a circle. I've told you guys I'm not the quickest drawer in the world, but we're gonna work this out. That's why my stuff is typically already sketched out before I start, because I don't draw quickly. So I'll make a bigger circle. I'm basically making 3 circles. I have a bigger circle for the circumference of my petals. I have a smaller circle for the center of my flower. And, and I'm just going to start sketching out poppy here. Let's see. Can you guys see? Then they have big, beautiful, crepey like petals that do weird things. Like 5 of them, right? I got an eraser somewhere, and I don't know where that somewhere is. That's okay. I was just looking at the statements. What happened to it? I have several different pictures I'm looking at here as I'm trying to. And I just got them statements kind of following the direction of the flower. Let me grab a fine liner. Well, and I'm just going to. I really need my eraser because I am so messing it up. Let's see here. There we go. Yeah, so don't like the way that ended up turning out. Yep, you guys are getting to see me panic a little bit. You guys know you don't normally see thrifted. All right, there we go. That's better. Uh, have to redraw that one again. It's so hot in this studio, friends. The advantage of getting it air fixed and now not being able to have it on because I'm just really making a mess of this painting, this drawing right now. Like I can't draw you would think I couldn't draw at all. That's what you would think. Mm, that's enough for us to work with. I'm gonna grab a fine liner. I am sweating, my friends. It is hot in here. I'm gonna have to get me a little fan that doesn't make a lot of noise. I'm just gonna grab I have a Lyra fine liner here. I'm just gonna use that one. Um, you guys forgive me if I've gotten quiet. I am trying to draw. um, and of course, the secret to this is trying to pull those strokes towards the center of the petal, make it look, you know, like it's supposed to. Um, all right. Now I want to pull some of the strokes in. You have to try to pull them in towards the center of the flower. Sometimes I just have to slow down and make sure I have them going in the right direction. Um, Okay. Uh, da, 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 da. It is hot, my friends. I keep saying that, I know, but I'm really burning up. Like super really burning up. Maybe trying to, do I want it to come out there? It really needs to come out there because the rest of this will end up being other flowers. Let me get some of my stamens in here. And then we'll erase our pencil lines to see how much of a mess I've made and whether or not it looks like a poppy. But I don't draw them often. All right, let's see. Let's do some erasing here. I think put those extra petals back there. All right. Erase. Forgive the camera if it shakes. And turn out too bad. Not the best poppy I've ever seen, but definitely not the worst. And we're making it an ink and wash so we can get through it pretty quickly. All right. I normally grab me like a dry brush and sweep off my crumbs. Give me just a second. What time is it? Yeah, it is. We're an hour and 12 minutes in, and I'm about to. All right, there we go. Go ahead and knock this out right quick. Let's see what we can do. What color should our poppy be? I'll let y'all decide on that while I start with the leaves. Hmm, that pen bleeding a little bit. And give it time to dry enough. Hmm, interesting. I am not going to stop it though. If it's bleeding, it is just bleeding. We are going to work with it. I'm going to grab some yellow here. I want to see how they mixing on the paper. See, I don't know. It seems to grab onto the paper. It doesn't seem to be really blending in. Let's see. All right, that blend. Okay, it's blending a little bit better for me now. And I'm gonna add a little blue into those. Let's go with this like ultramarine color. See how that works. And just a little shadow, and I'm going in with straight blue. I actually did not even try to mix it. I'm dropping that blue directly into that green on the paper. Here's the thing. It's sort of cakey looking, sort of I'm gonna hold it up so you can see it for yourself in just a second. Now I'm wondering if it's gonna let me glaze back on top of that with another green layer without really causing an issue. We'll see. Let's move on and do this one here. I'm gonna mix it with a little bit of the other green. See if we can get different variation in color here. Yeah, that Lyra marker, I mean that Lyra fine liner I think is not waterproof. Now's a fine time for me to really be discovering that, but that's what I feel. Like they can be used. I don't know if I like them, but they can definitely be used. They can definitely be used. Now, it doesn't stay wet long, I tell you that, for like wet in the wet washes. And I'm using quite a bit of water. Let's um, throw a little yellow in that. Same thing with this one, drop a little blue in around the edges just to darken it up. I'm trying to get better at painting quicker. Um, I really do not. Let's see. You know, it's a how they say every product isn't for everybody, right? I'm gonna try to put a thin layer on this. Hopefully it won't cover up too much. But it looks like it is. It looks like it's doing more covering. So definitely something you need to get used to using. Pretty. I still say that. I still say it's pretty. Still say it's pretty. They definitely have a matty feel to them. Almost like gouache. I guess that's why they can be used so many different ways, like gouache and an airbrush, all this type of things. It's just, I'm thinking this is the best formulation for the one product to do so many different things. That's the only thing I can come up with. That's what it turned out to be. And I'm just dusting in some more dark color. And it's letting me do a little, this is a little damp, a little wet in the damp. And it's not that I'm worried about them like flowing all over the place because we already know that they don't. And I'm going to show you something in just a second with the palette. Okay, I'm going to leave those alone. Get them a second to dry, then I'll go back and add some veining into them. Let me kind of mixing both of those greens together at the moment. And it's like it soaks time it hits the paper. It leaves you very little time to blend it out. Have to work quick. Have to work quick. Maybe it's the paper I'm using it on. Maybe I wonder, because some things work better on cellulose paper. They just do. Like granulating watercolors, in my opinion, work better on cellulose paper. That is just my opinion now. I do like the way the blue is naturally shadowing things without like making mud. I do like that. Mind you, we ain't even gotten to the flower yet. We're gonna get into that one in just a second. You can layer. You can definitely layer it. As it dries, you can layer, and it's gonna build opacity, gonna build color. I think it's really just a means of figuring out how to use them. Considering this was me opening and using and not really taking time to really sit down and figure anything out before trying to, use them in this live. But I really think that it's just a matter of figuring out exactly how to use them, what paper they'll be best on, what application they'll be better for. All right. Okay. Let's see what's going on in the comment section right quick. Yes, it does seem to be made for paper that is made in Asia that doesn't have much sizing right. This packaging, yeah, maybe the best way to use them is thickly like gouache. Hey, Elizabeth, maybe it is the best way to use them. It's gonna be like a gouache. Excuse me. I do like the opacity, the way it builds. Is this? Yeah, these that pen I use, it's water soluble, guys. It's gonna be terrible. I don't know how this is gonna work. Let's see. Try not to hit my lines too much so that they don't do a lot of bleeding. I don't get a lot of like muddiness. Yeah, that is definitely not the look I was going for with that bleeding. Trying to paint around the little stamens I put there. Not too much bleeding. Hmm. And then I'm probably gonna go with this dropping of blue in at the base of that one too. Let it sort of purple out. Keep in mind I'm experimenting right now, so don't anyone hold me to this being a masterpiece of any type. Right now, I'm just trying to figure out the best application for these, um, how they're going to work best for me, my painting style. I'm already rather disappointed in a couple of different things, and one of them is not really even the product's fault. One of them is my fault because I'm very disappointed I used that water soluble pen instead of a waterproof pen. But I actually thought that one was waterproof, if truth be told. So now I'm trying to paint in between those lines as to not smudge them too much. And it's making this poppy look ridiculous. Can't win them all now, can you? And what's happening is that soluble ink is mixing with the color. But I'm gonna actually keep on painting, and we'll see. All right. While I'm doing this, we need to get to announcing a giveaway. If you remember the first giveaway short did come out, and it was the little Viva cute watercolor palette, the water brush, and a little sketchbook. We're gonna look at it in just a second, and then I'm gonna tell you who won the random giveaway for that. The Thrifty Cheap Art Challenge giveaway announcement will be soon. It will actually be in, I think I said this upcoming Wednesdays or Sundays video, but I'm pretty sure it'll be in Sunday's video because Wednesday's video is basically already done, and it worked me. So I will definitely include the Thrifty Giveaway winner segment in this upcoming Sunday's video. May have been when it was supposed to come out anyway. You guys see how that like pen is just like dissolving all into my flower? Is really making a mess out of it. And I'm just painting to keep painting just to say I didn't give up on it. But sometimes every now and then it's worth a start over. And this would actually be one of those cases where it's worth a start over if I wasn't painting live and if I wasn't on such a short time crunch for the day. If we had like our normal time that I have on Mondays, I would have really restarted this, redrawn it, everything. Never be scared to restart your composition. You didn't make a mistake. You simply learned from the first go round so that you could perfect the second go round. That's how I always look at that. I am kind of dry brushing some of this on. I'm just trying my best to avoid running. Not that it's working at all. Not that it's working much at all. Let me get this last petal something. I'm going to figure out how to save it. I'm going to figure out how to save it. I'm just going to get this first layer in, and then I'll go back in adding in my darks right away. That way I'll see my lightest lights and my darkest darks at once. That way I can kind of evaluate and work out what else I may need to do to it. And I was just talking to you guys about that trick in the Ganze video that came out this past Sunday. Ways to quickly get your illustration to resemble what you set out to paint. Now, I'm gonna let you guys see. Can you see the difference in the petal I just painted versus the ones I've already painted? Like, it's really not bad. It dries down really smooth, really even. Like, there's no texture or granulation to it on the actual paper. But you can look at the palette, you can see like grit in the actual wash, almost like graphite, almost like ink tints blocks if you've ever used them. They're almost like that. So, two more here. Across the back. Um, I'm leaving plenty of white space for a lot of reasons. The first one is that I'm trying to avoid the pen as much as possible. The second one is I don't want to lose my lights and have to go back and lift to get them in, because as you know, we did not get through the lifting test yet, so not quite sure how these are going to lift away from the paper. And considering the way they're going down, they may not lift they may not lift too well at all. All right, that's like the first layer of that sort of foolishness. A little situation here. Okay, that is the, and see, I put that blue in there. I wonder if it's gonna let me re-wet it and spread it. It does not. It's almost like ink tints. That's kind of what they kind of put me in the mind of. They don't necessarily dry down on the paper. Well, yeah, they almost dry down on the paper like ink tints blocks too. That is, and I mean, I'm probably use alcohol markers, not alcohol markers, but watercolor markers to finish that off and make it look decent and worth something. That's actually drying really fast. Where is mine? I'm gonna grab my Kuretake pocket brush pen, mainly because I don't have much control with it, and I figure, hey, you know, this is already Experimentville. We might as well keep it going. So I'm using a pen that the line quality is definitely controlled based on pressure. It is a real brush pen that has real brushes that, you know, come apart and spray apart. Black permanent ink. I love this pen. Um, Find myself using it quite a lot now. Uh, I don't know. I'm going to just start trying to make this look worth something. Like so. There we go. It's not too bad. Hello, Tisa. So, what is it? I was in a business meeting. Hope that business meeting went well. Welcome in. Welcome, welcome. What is it? It is a brick of color that can serve as many different things, from a solid watercolor half pan to a gouache to being boiled to be liquid watercolor and used even in an airbrush if need be. What I've discovered about them since I started painting with them so far is that they remind me of two different products. The first one is Lucas Aquarelle 1862 paints. It reminds me of that sort of old world look that you get from them once they dry. But outside of paints, what they remind me of the most, and I feel like they're probably the closest to, are like ink tints blocks. Now, they gave you grittiness in the washes just like ink tints does. They will get goopy and soupy just like ink tints will if you wet the block down too much. I did find that once some of the color started to dry on the paper, it was kind of hard to reactivate um, and move around. I messed my poppy up a little bit because I used a water soluble black pen. Didn't realize it when I etched it in, but it is what it is. You guys get the idea that it's a poppy. And plus, it was just a test. Now check this out. This is what I'm saying. You guys remember how watery the washes was I was using when I did when we started doing the little testing sheet. Look at how flat that color is. Like there's no texture to anything. It almost when they almost seem like you know how some budget paints can dry down like with a really uniform feel across all the paints, almost as though it was a dye. It almost seems that way. I know it's not a dye, but it just seems like, I don't know, they're just unusual. I'm not used to them. I need to really get used to using these. And I'm gonna do a couple more paintings. I'm gonna do some really in-depth paintings with them. One of them along a more watercolory style, and then one of them along a more gouache feel or gouache style painting to see how that works out. But as of right now, oh, see how thick I made that by accident. As of right now, I am just trying to make this look better. So that's what's going on at the moment. I don't know if I like them. I'm gonna be honest. Um, you guys know I don't really meet too many products I don't like or don't feel like I can use, but they're just not wowing me right now. They don't seem too much different from products I already have, but we'll know that for sure by the time I get to the review. Interesting. Pigment or ink or graphite with. I think they are pigment. According to the paperwork, they're pigment based. And they're supposedly light fast as well. Here's the thing: there's no pigment information, there's no light fast information, no transparency information. It just simply says they're supposed to be light fast. They really feel like a graphite gouache. Does that make sense? They can get real thick, which I mean, because they get real thick and goopy. Look at here. You can even see where I've started to make indents with the brush. And that's actually a synthetic squirrel brush. So I'm making those type of dents with a super soft brush. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't dislike them, but I don't know if I like them. Does that make sense? I don't dislike them just yet, but I'm not 100% sure that I'm just super crazy about them. Also, I caved and bought the line and wash set by Doing. um, it's a cool set. It is. It's a cool set. I love my mega palette I made. I absolutely love my mega palette, and we got some real cool stuff coming up for Inktober that's going to include the Deerwent line and wash set. I think a lot of people are going to enjoy it. I'm just emphasizing the statements at this point, and I'm making them all black so they'll stand out. A lot of this is probably going to be cleaned up with fine liners and pens at this point, just to make it. And I also have, I'm probably going to pull out my Winsor and Newton water soluble markers at some point with this. Because, like I said, I'm going to keep working on it. I'm not going to give up on it. I want it to look decent because I started it on a live. But, like I said earlier, had this not been a live, I probably would have restarted this entire composition. Not bad looking. It's recognizable as a poppy. I kind of want to put some shadows in there. I think I'm going to switch over to, what time is it? Okay. Got about 20 minutes and then I'm going to have to jump off. Um, let's see. I'm going to grab this number 1 synthetic squirrel. And like see, it just cakes. Why is it doing that? Well, I guess I know some paints that do that too. It's so rich in value. It doesn't take much at all. I will tell you that it doesn't take much at all. Okay, I'm just gonna go in with mass tone here because I don't know how this is gonna work. I don't want to mix nothing else in, so I'm just gonna go in with mass tone of the same color. Let's see how this is gonna work out for me. So you have to be careful They look pretty decent dry brushed on though. And then I'm gonna use the red in full strength to sort of reinforce the veining. The girl name is Kamala. Oh, I said that out loud. I'm sorry. So one of my neighbors, I know y'all are like, where did that come from? One of my neighbors is outside talking, and they're talking loud enough for me to hear through my studio window. And they keep mispronouncing Kamala Harris's name, and it's driving me insane. I wonder if people do that on purpose. I'm not in it, not being political or anything, because you guys know I don't really get into politics on my channel. I don't really get into religion on my channel just because I don't want to offend anyone. However, I think some people do stuff just being disrespectful. That lady's name has been called enough for everybody to know how to pronounce it now. If you are still pronouncing or mispronouncing her name, you're doing it on purpose. That's just a personal thing. Kamala. It's not hard. Kamala. It's not hard. Okay, I'm done with that. It's a little irritating though. All right, let's see. That didn't turn that added a little for oomph to it, huh? Let's see if we can add a little bit more for oomph to it. With kind of adding in a stroke on top of our ruffle. And if this works out, then I'll probably do more of this off camera. And then it'll end up being, an update post in the community section. Because this is okay. I didn't really like the direction it was going in at first, but I feel like there could be some salvaging here. I feel like it could be a little work done, a little keep going done, and it may turn out halfway okay. I think I'm going to um, use an alcohol marker to enhance that. I've already done. I went on and finished it because I started that with the brush, but I'm thinking I'm going to switch over to an alcohol marker really quick. Let me see. Do I have one sitting around? So what do I have in here? I don't know if any of this will work. What's in here? That is. Oh, the zebra pins. Did the zebras? Yeah, the zebras had a red. I don't know how this is gonna work. How this is gonna look. Oh, it's red, red. I'm just gonna do one or two stripes here. You put it in one place, you have to put it in another. It'll work as long as, especially if I lay it directly down on top of the black that's already there. Okay, that ain't bad. I can work with that. As you guys know, at this point, if you're just joining, you're just popping in, What you see me doing is trying to save an illustration I started earlier with creatacolor aqua bricks that perform much like ink tints blocks, in my opinion. I don't know if I like that. It definitely emphasized it a little bit more, didn't it? It definitely gave more definition to those lines. All right. So, how are we feeling, friends? If you're here in your live, jump in the comment section. Let me know how we're feeling about the aqua bricks so far. If you are watching in syndication, let me know what you are thinking about the aqua bricks. We are definitely going to do more testing on them before we get around to a review. Right now, I'm just playing around, in all honesty, and I'm doing it with you guys on camera. Something I would be doing if I was just sitting up watching TV, testing a product out, seeing how it works out for me. Um, so that's basically what's going on right now. You guys are getting to witness that play mode in effect. Again, Patreon members, keep in mind that I do have a dentist appointment today. I will be making the post for Patreon Live when I get off of this one, but I'm not sure, um, or I won't be completely sure as to what's going to go on with it until I get to the dentist's office today and see what they say. I'm just darkening up these like ripples or the crepey texture, and then I'm gonna wrap this up. Because it does look looks a little too much. It's too stylized, all that type stuff. But this is one of those moments where you have to be kind to yourself. You have to be nice to yourself and figure out what it is about what you've done that you love so that you can use that to grow from. I'm adding green into the area here. Go. It's a little darker green just to darken it up a little bit. And anything else I do with this, I'm going to do. And see, I shouldn't have put that dark green in there. I can fix that though. It'll look better with some highlights on it. Definitely. I want to know, like, if I outline the bottom of this petal, if it'll cause more separation or if I'm just making it worse. because at this point I could just be making it worse, and you guys are just watching me. Uh, all right, friends, this was definitely an experiment in babysitting. Um, Not where I want it to be, not completely away from where I want it to be. It's gonna require. Yes, it is a necessary evil. I get they want the product to be versatile, but maybe they are too versatile. You know what, Kiana? I'm gonna have to agree with you there. Marianne, that's fine. Welcome, love. I'm glad you made it at all. Yeah, jack of all trade, master of none field. It's kind of it's I mean it's a product, it's a versatile, usable product that you could probably figure out use for. Um I'm gonna be careful with what I'm about to do now though. See, it doesn't that definitely did not spread the way I wanted it to or thought it was going to. See there? Like it just doesn't it didn't blend out the way I thought it was going to. And now I definitely need to go around and add that yellow into the poppy here and there. I hate I did that, but I gotta do it now. I gotta go around and kind of try to blend some yellow into this poppy in different areas. I'm trying to make it not look like too too rich, too too terrible. I don't know. It's like the colors are vibrant. You're gonna have to work with them. I guess I'll like I said, I'm gonna spend time working on this. This project is gonna take a minute because I'm really trying to figure out how to, use these um that way I can relate to you guys the best way I think to use them. Um, just kind of blending the yellow in different places now. I was thinking it was missing like a little warmth. I didn't realize that. And see that there again really remind me of ink tints. They are not allowing me to really reblend anything or get anything down in there. So, this is definitely a product I think you want to do your blending like while it's still wet as you're laying down your initial color because it doesn't seem to want to blend, making it probably better for layering than blending. But I stuck that yellow in on that first leaf, so it was necessary for me to go and try to blend it out across the rest of the poppy. Um, I don't know. I don't know. Look, seems more again seems better for building. Definitely for building color. Letting the first color dry, building another color on top of it. As long as you keep it watered down as you build layers, you're going to notice a transparency that allows you to see the layer up under it. Because as you guys can see, I'm kind of just layer blending that yellow in. It's not really blending, but it is layering and laying down thinly enough for you to be able to kind of see the previous layer through it. So I definitely see some uses for them. Definitely see some uses for them. It's just gonna take. Let's see. This leaf is laying down on that one, so it'll be more of a shadow there. Um, they kind of overlap each other, and this one sort of overlaps on this side. Mm, I don't know. Like the more I add to it, the better it's starting to look. One of those type paintings. Mm. Okay. I think I'm gonna let that be called it for today on this playing around. Um, it is not a masterpiece, but it was definitely an adventure into testing out for the first time the Creatacolor Aqua blocks, my friends. There's a swatch sheet that we did, and there is our color mixing that we did. And here we're going to do a lift test. This is our little flow test. Again, I'm noticing that there's definitely a more noticeable shift. Although these are both branded as 100% cotton papers, there's a much more noticeable shift on, say, like this Artwell 100% cotton paper versus the Light Wish, which is probably a Paul Rubens rebrand. See you later, Tisa. Have a good day, hon. Hopefully, I'll catch you tonight in the creation station at 8. Um, but so far, not too bad. I've got enough experience to see some different directions I can go with them for the next painting. I'm probably going to use them in an upcoming video. Not sure how soon, but they will definitely be used in an upcoming video. They may actually get used during October for ink tints. I can definitely see an application with ink or being blended with actual ink tints blocks, pencils, or ink tints pan paint. So I'm definitely going to be giving that a shot. Here's the first little demo that we did with them. It is sort of a poppy I sketched out real quick with you guys. Again, not a masterpiece, but I just wanted something really quick to kind of do in order to start to test the different qualities of the aqua bricks, as they're called. I'm on the fence about how I feel about them right now. That's where I am. I'm really on the fence. They remind me of so many different things. Visually, once they dry down, they sort of remind me of Lucas paints. In use, they sort of remind me of like an ink tints block or like a graphite tint, because the washes in the palette definitely have sort of a gritty, graphite texture to them. Is no sheen or shine on the paper. There's no grit or texture on the paper, so that could just be the actual pigment particles that I'm seeing in those washes on the palette. Something for me to investigate a little bit more. Um, Other discoveries that I noticed right off are that the paints do retain their wetness quite well. They re-wet really well. I did initially pre-spray them before I started, but I do not think that that's necessary. Now, these, although they're huge, I can really see them being really fast wearing simply because of how much of those little bricks I indented just from the small amount of painting we did today. And make no mistake, they give off a lot of color. You're able to get like really big washes of color really quick. So I've seen many things about them that I like. I've seen a few things about them that are troubling to me, that I need to do a little bit more painting with them in order to really, really, really tell you my final conclusion on them. They're really more gouache, poster painty, tempera sort of. They're really in that ballpark, that feel, and you can just water them down enough for them to be watercolors or used like watercolors. And I guess in that way, they're a lot like maybe say Gansei Tambai or a Gansei paint, where Gansei paints can be watered down a lot and used like a watercolor, but they can also be applied thickly and used more like a gouache. And that is definitely where we're going, or where these seem to be going. So I'm definitely going to give them a few more, or another run. I may do a few more paintings with them in the background. Maybe you guys will end up seeing um, another demo with them on actual camera before I get around to doing the review. But the major thing right now with me is that I feel like the brightness after they dry down is a little lackluster. You guys know I'm a super vivid, love bright paints, bright, good quality paints. Um, Even if some of the pigments may be questionable, overall being a good quality pigmented paint. Things like Core, Mission Gold, um, Paul Rubens, things that are going to be bright and pretty. But anyway, so let me check the comment section and see if there anything else, any questions, anything you guys wanted to add or say before we jump off today. Oh, I need to do the giveaway, right? Or tell you who won the giveaway and announce this week's giveaway, or we'll announce this live's giveaway, because there will be another giveaway short coming out soon. So if you remember, this is the little travel set that is up for grabs from the first short. It came in this little box that I made and just kind of decorated for travel on the front. On the inside of the little giveaway package, there was the Viva Mini 6-color travel little kit with a water brush. And then there was the handmade sketchbook that we actually made right here on a live. Um, yes. So I couldn't do my normal, or what I've gotten used to doing now, which is letting the random YouTube comment selector select the winner. Because for some reason it wouldn't work on the short. So I had to do it the old fashioned way, where you guys have seen me go through, tear off a piece of paper, write down everybody's name, put it in a cup, roll it around, and pull out a name. So I did that before we started the live, and the name that I pulled was, let me find it. I wrote it down because I started to keep a list for giveaways. Hold on. I don't remember off the top of my head. I got it. Anticipation. I know. Where is it? It's in my little notebook somewhere. I wrote it down. Pretty sure I wrote it down. Haha. I know, right? Like, Ken, get it together. Like, you should have had this on fleek. Here we go. First short giveaway winner is Art in Music '09. Art in Music '09. You are the winner of the um little thrifty travel box with the travel palette, the travel water brush, and the custom made travel sketchbook. So that is Art in Music '09. So Art in Music '09, what I need you to do is hit me up at the thrifty apprentice at gmail.com. I'll repeat, the thrifty apprentice at gmail.com, and touch bases with me to let me know that you are Art in Music '09 once. we get all that verified and done, I will happily get your prize package out to you in the mail. So congratulations to Art and Music '09. If you're here live and if you watch the video in replay, definitely congratulations, and reach out to me at the thrifty apprentice at gmail.com. Let's see, was there anything else? Um, the winner of the Cheap Art Challenge will be announced in a video this upcoming week. If not this Wednesday, then this Sunday. So be sure to stay tuned to those videos. And my friends, that's going to be it. Thank you so very much for joining me. As I told you, today would be rather quick. I need to get on off and get ready for the dentist. Go out, paint, have a great time. Enjoy your Monday. Enjoy the rest of your week. Hopefully, I will see all of my Patreon members tonight in the Creation Station at 8. I may be a few minutes late. We'll see. And if you're not a member of the Creation Station, please check the video description for all of the relevant links. You can now check out the Defiant Art website, which does have its shop up and going. You can still check out the Patreon page, read up, go through things, see if you want to join the Creation Station. It's a super cheap price, and we do a lot of things together. All right, guys. So go out, have fun, and remember, as I tell you always, to just keep creating.